Let's talk about some movies that had an absolute chokehold on us when we were kids. I'm not talking about little tiny kids. I'm not talking about teenagers. I'm talking about like middle school, like the movies that you watched on repeat. I'll tell you some of mine. These are not in order. This is definitely not all of them. They are just the ones that came to my mind when I wanted to make this TikTok. Some of them are pretty niche, so I need to know if you were watching them too. First up is Camp Nowhere. This is the movie where I think that I fell in love with Andrew Keegan. I watched this movie so much. I rarely hear anybody talk about it. Christopher Lloyd is awesome. Jonathan Jackson is in it. Whatever happened to Jonathan Jackson? Don't break my heart. Next up is Ladybugs. This movie would never fly today. And I don't even know which side would have more issues with it, honestly. Anyway, rest in peace, Jonathan Brandis. This movie is a gem. I've always been obsessed with ghosts, but then I became obsessed with Devon Sawa. Then we have Tom and Huck. This was a Disney movie that I just don't think blew up. Maybe it did blow up, but like I've never heard anybody mention it in passing since the 90s. But I liked it a lot. Sister Act 2. Sister Act was good, but Sister Act 2 had an absolute I even like memorized all the songs that they sang and I sang them in choir. It was crazy. I was obsessed. Me and my cousin were obsessed with this movie. We watched it hundreds of times. Okay, now we have Grease 2. I loved Grease 1. Everybody knows Grease 1. Nobody talks about how epically amazing Grease 2 is. That's the way it's going to be. That's the way that I feel. Next out of left field is The Mighty Ducks. Obsessed. Again, I think we might have watched this movie between me and my brother like way too many times. And then there were sequels. Quack, quack. This is probably the oldest of all of them. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Absolutely epic cult movie. I literally think of Sue Ellen every time I put on a blazer. Every single time. And last but not least, we have what was probably my favorite middle school movie ever, Little Giants, because Icebox, Becky the Icebox, was a legend, at least for us girls. The rest of the movie is really funny too. So, did you watch obsessively all of the same movies that I did? And if you did, what year were you born? Genuinely curious.